Hello, YouTube family. Let me get my camera adjusted here. And it is Friday the 5th. Tomorrow's Saturday.
So where you going?
One more minute. I think I'm gonna die.
It is a move.
Everything's happening.
I got to mute this.
As long as you know where the pieces move.
You're fine then.
Yeah, sorted.
Got to mute that thing.
I'm so close.
Oh. Well.
What is that?
I was supposed to, my occupational therapy person was supposed to be today, and she did come, but nobody heard her knock. And you might hear Jaden in the background in there. He's playing the game with somebody on the internet. But she hung a thing on the door, says sorry she missed us. Usually Bailey will bark anytime somebody knocks on the door, but she never let out a whimper. Because usually when she barks, I go check. And Donovan didn't hear her knocking either. Been one of them do not. You know what? I can't do anything as long as my foot is like this. And I tell you what, boy, I just about had it with the VA. Just about had it. It's say, let me show you something. Where is it? I got all my scripts today. Well, almost all of them. This is my Metformin. Now, oh, I thought I was doing a live stream and I was looking over there to see if anybody's on. I'm doing a video. But this is Metformin. And a couple of months ago, the nurse called up and said they want you to cut in half the Metformin you've been taking. In other words, let me see if I can show you one. Yeah, here's one. Now that's, I like to see that screen on. This is a Metformin, and it's pretty big. And I was taking one of these in the morning and one in the evening. They called up, said it was affecting my kidneys somehow or another, and they wanted me to cut it in half. In other words, take a half of one in the morning and a half of one in the evening. But I don't know if you can see this or not. Look what it says. It says, take one in the morning and one in the evening. Don't say a cotton picking thing about splitting these tablets. So that's a big mistake to make. If my daughter come in here and put these things out, she would give me the whole one. Because it don't tell her on here to split it in half. I know to split it in half. Also, this is my gabapentin. I told the doctor that before she sent me to the hospital, I said I would like to decrease the amount of metformin and gabapentin I'm taking. And she says, why? I said, because I've been reading all the side effects and I've got a lot of them side effects. But did she offer to try and tone it down a little bit for me? No, she didn't do that. Also, when she sent me to the hospital, I had a MRSA infection on this heel on my foot. That's a nasty infection to have. Super nasty. It can get in your bone and you lose your foot or your leg. So, she wanted to send me to Gainesville. They don't, the VA doesn't like for their doctors to send you to a hospital other than a VA hospital. Because it's expensive. But my foot's infected. She said, you need to see the podiatrist. Okay, ma'am, I'll do that. I'll go right down there and make an appointment to see the podiatrist. Thinking since I had this infection, I would probably get there pretty quick. But I get down there, Donovan goes up to the window, tells him what they want. And he turns around, he said, they can't get you into September. Now I'm sitting here with a cotton picking MRSA infection, just getting over it, still on antibiotics, and they want to wait till September to see my foot. In my case, all I was interested in right at that minute was getting a pair of those orthopedic shoes that I can get on Amazon for $70-something a piece. So you would think that they would put some priority on that. But I started raising sand, and they found something in July. But that's still no good for me. I can't get out and do nothing because I can't keep a shoe on my foot. And the VA sucks. The only reason that I keep going to the VA is because of these meds. I can't afford the copay on this stuff if I get it privately through Aetna. Aetna is my, let me get that while I'm thinking about it. I got another letter from Aetna today. We got the call, Aetna. We should have done it, but didn't do it. I got to call them and tell them to send me a new ID card. And this, let me read this stuff here. Let me see how much my hospital bill is here. Holy shit. Good God. Oh my God. Folks, you ain't gonna believe this. That last 3 weeks I spent in the hospital, this last one, total claims process for that 3 weeks, good gosh almighty, $104,148.26. The plan approved of that 104,000, they only approved $20,871.82. The plan's share was $19,780.09. My share, my copay that I'm supposed to pay, is $1,000. But since the VA sent me over there, that $1,000 will be paid by the VA. $104,000. Good Lord. Whew. I'm not fooling, folks. Look at that. And there's all kind of charges on here. I don't know what. ALSI emergency on 400 ground mileage $62. What in the world is all that? That's 1218. Wait a minute. This must be an old statement. This is for that first, when I went in Christmas, right before Christmas. This is for that. I don't know how much the other one was. Gee whiz. Dang. That that just blows my mind. Absolutely. But I can't get out and do nothing. But this computer tried to take a dump today. But it said hit any key to try and reboot, and I did. And about 15 minutes later, it come on. Oh man, that 104,000. Man, that just. How much is my life worth? And that's just the one stay. And I had I had that one in right before Christmas, and then I had that appointment on March 5th. Went in the hospital on March 5th. Stayed 3 weeks. Plus, the VA is so slow getting anything done. Now they were supposed to send me my my fish oil, and they didn't. Well, I don't even know if I got any left. I don't have any. Well, no. Well, hold on. I got crap laying all over the place in here. I started cleaning up today. Let's see. Well, daggone it. I'm just about, might as well say I'm out, cause I've got one fish oil capsule. I'm supposed to take 2 of them in the mornings. So I'm out. Now I can order them on that cross-the-counter meds through Aetna, but I can't get online to do it because, why can't I get online and do it? Maybe I can. But yeah, I get $200 worth of over-counter stuff every 3 months. So, I'm really trying not to get discouraged. And I found out too, some of my subscribers, I don't know if any of y'all seen my earlier videos or not. I have uploaded 1,440 videos, almost 1,500 videos. That many. And over all them videos, I've only had about 1 million views. So that's not many views for that many videos. But yeah, I've got that many videos. And if y'all haven't seen my early ones and you want, I guarantee you get more entertained on those earlier ones than you will on the ones I'm doing now. And was it Terry? No, that was Sin City Cindy, I think, was talking about why some people have so many. I'm trying not to cuss. Oh, Lord. Sharp pain in that foot. And not my left one this time, my right, my toes. The one my toes amputated on. But they said, they was telling me, she watches Paul, the Scrap and Pallet Man, and she says she thinks the reason his channel got so big, which he's got about 250,000 subscribers, is because he's a Christian and he brings that into his videos every video he does. Well, I don't, that may have something to do with it. I don't know. I don't know. But I'm not going to bring religion. Now, I've got several of you guys, you ladies and gentlemen, that are pretty devout Christians. And that's fine. I'm a Christian. I don't sound like it at times. But I'm not gonna preach religion or anything on my channel because I have some subscribers that's Muslim. I have some subscribers, and I'm assuming Catholics is Christian, but it's not Protestant. And I have somebody that's, what is that religion? The language is Bengali. She's from Bangladesh. I'm not sure. I don't think that's Muslim. And I have somebody from Japan, a couple of people. I'm not sure. What the heck was that? Oh, that was my pickup. I'm not sure what that religion is in Japan. And for the same reason, I don't talk about the politics much. I would love to, but I don't want to be peeing off nobody that's on the opposite fence of mine. What I am is my business. It's not y'all's business. And I learned that from my neighbor because I asked him how I was going to vote. And he pretty much said it ain't none of your damn business. And he's right, it ain't. It's my business. You know, and that makes a lot of sense. It's kind of like, you know, Morgan, by the way, when a child is born, whether they some kind of African, Libyan, a Muslim child, a Christian child, they're not born with hate. They're not born with that. That's not like, you know, you go buy a car, you pick out what you want it to come with. But when a child's born, they don't come with that stuff. How do they get it? We, as supposedly responsible adults, teach our children things. And a lot of us teach them to hate. Fortunately, my daughter, I didn't teach my daughter that. And my son, I think he was kinda. I don't know why. I don't know why. But I did discipline pretty hard one time when I forget now what it was doing, but it was racist. But no, children are not born with that. We teach them. We teach them. We teach them everything. They're not born to talk a language. We teach it to them. They're not born with academic knowledge and stuff. It's taught to them. For the most part, their speech is taught by the parent. And I know a fella, he had 5 or 6 children. And he was a major racist guy. And so was his wife. And guess what? So was his kids. Because he taught it to them. Him and his wife, they taught him to be that way. It's amazing what we teach our children. To me it is. I, it's, you know, what's his name? Morgan Freeman. If he said, if you stop calling me a black man, I'll stop calling you a white man. Makes a lot of sense. Because he is a human being. He's dark skinned, but he's a human being. I'm light skinned, but I'm a human being. All this stuff gets taught to you kids. And if you're in the middle of raising kids right now, you better think long and hard about what you teach them. I remember when you would see a white woman going out with a black man, or a black man going out with a white woman, they were frowned upon big time.
Are you talking about
Not so much anymore. They're still frowned on. I remember the first time I ever went, I had some cousins that lived up in Maryland, right next to Washington, D.C. And I got to the house, you know, it was dark and everything. And went to bed and everything, but got up the next morning, and I was standing there at the front door looking out, and there was black folks, black people, a lot. There was white people too, but a lot of black people walking around. And what was this racist boy's thing? I was about 10, 9. What was my first thing I said? I went running back into the house, and I said, man, y'all got niggers. Well, I didn't mean to say that. Y'all got the N-word people running all around, all over this place. And they jumped on me. That's our neighbors. And boy, they jumped on me big time. I didn't say that no more. Dang. That just rolled right off my tongue. I didn't mean to say that. They might demonetize this video. I don't know. If I knew how to edit it out, I would. But I don't know how to edit it out. But I was shocked. I mean, there was a family of blacks right next door to them. I was amazed. But guess what? I'm looking over here at my window. If the curtain was pulled back, I would see a house about 25 feet away. Brand new home. Y'all might remember making some videos about that. Brand new home. And guess what? It's a black family. And by gosh, I like them. You know, my daddy used to tell me, don't y'all be hanging around the ice, man. That you get that it rubs off. The color rubs off or get on you. My daddy told me that. So he was teaching me. He was teaching me how to be a racist. And the biggest thing I regret when I was growing up going to school, I feel like I missed out on a lot of different things, you know, cultural dynamics and everything, because schools were segregated. You had black schools, you had white schools. You had black sections of town, you had white sections of town. And of course that section the blacks lived in, we called that N-word town. But I was, a lot of my feelings and stuff, for some reason, come over me. There was a girl on the farm, black, name was Sissy, and boy, I don't know if I had the hots for her. I don't know, cause I was only 10 or 11, something like that. But I got fussed at a lot by my aunts and uncles because I spent a lot of time over there at the colored families, the sharecropper's house. They had a ball. They was always out and happy, and I don't know how they could have been happy. But they made the best of it, what they could. But it's just, we are people, we are human, we are of the same race. Human. I don't know if you could call it's called the human race. And included in that human race is black man, yellow man, red man, you name it. You name it. It's just, it still blows my mind. I feel like I missed so much by not having black friends when I was in school. Instead of standing over at the railroad track throwing rocks at one another. And then I got in trouble because one of my rocks hit that boy. And old dumbass Russell jumped over Russell. He stood up in front of that judge when the judge was telling him what he's going to do and all that. And he stood up in front of that judge and said, well, Your Honor, it was just a N-word. I said that. It was just an N-word. I want to cry. My eyes are watering now thinking about I actually said that to that boy, to the judge. The boy was standing there too. And of course the judge didn't say, he said that'll be enough of that talk or something, but he didn't really dress me down for saying that. But the things in my past makes me want to cry. I want to cry because of what we did to the Indians. I want to cry because of what we did to the Hawaiian people. That was a country, that was a nation. But we took it. I want to cry because we, in that Mexican-American war, look how much we took from Mexico land-wise. Of course, we paid them something, you know, maybe a penny on the acre, something like that. But we took so much land, all of California and Arizona, New Mexico. That was Mexican. But we had this thing called manifest destiny. I wonder who thought that up. I just wonder who thought that up. And we took this country, it didn't belong to us. It didn't. It belonged to somebody. It belonged to the Native Americans. We took it. And there's other countries in that Spanish-American War. We took Guam. We took the Philippines, and we took Puerto Rico. Those were countries, but we took them. Of course, we paid them $20 million for those three countries. Not $20 million apiece, but $20 million for all three of them. We took them. We stole them. There's a lot of injustice that's going on, and then the thing about slavery, that was so sad. I mean, you get people over here, you get a family of blacks, you know, a husband and a wife and their kids, and you split them up. You sell them to somebody or take them or whatever. Take the kids away from all that. Human beings. Get off of that. Just like that time in Ronald Rapids, me and my cousins was hanging around the bus station right there in town. And I'll tell you who it was now, he's dead. Mr. Charles, one of my first cousins. He thought it'd be a macho, neat thing to do to go over with a brick at the colored section and entrance to the bus station and bust that water fountain. You know, that water fountain's made out of the same thing like toilets are made out of stuff. And he busted it up. He busted it up. So, and the water was running then. It was coming out of a pipe. And I guess the bus station people turned it off. And then one day, a week or two later, I was in town, just hanging out and stuff. And here was this black man and his wife, and I can't remember how many kids, it was 2 or 3, and they all had a empty Coca-Cola bottle, the old green glass Coca-Cola bottle, standing by the white water fountain. They weren't allowed to go over there and take a drink of water. They had to stand there hoping somebody would, some white person would go over there and fill them bottles up with water so they'd have something to drink. Well, by dang, I tell you what, boy, it just tears me up every time I think about it. A grown man with his family having to sit there with empty bottles hoping some white dude would come by there and fill them up with water. Well, I'll fill them up.
Funny fact is, if you play Isaac, because Isaac's 16,
can you imagine how his kids were thinking? Maybe they would think, well, why can't we just go over and get a drink?
yeah, the characters are just in the map. The characters are just in the map.
And I guess if they asked them, well, I have seen stuff that black kids were starting to do or something, and the parent would tell them not to do that. We're not allowed. And the kid, why can't we do that? And the parent would tell, we're just ends.
This person to insult people.
I didn't mean to get on a rant about this, but by gosh, there's so much injustice. that's happened all along the way. And a lot of our presidents was the same cotton-picking way. And by the way, speaking of presidents, here's a little piece of trivia for you. Which president knew face to face he was a friend with George Washington, and George Washington died in 1799, and he was also a friend in the Senate with Abraham Lincoln before he was president?
Oh yeah, this could explode.
Do you know which president that was? You could probably Google it and find out. But I'll tell you who it was. John Quincy Adams. That would be John Adams' son. You know, John Adams was president. John Quincy Adams, a little bit down the road, was president. But he knew both Abraham Lincoln and George Washington. And we've got an actual photograph of John Quincy Adams. We've actually got a photograph that it was taken along about the time photography was invented.
I mean, they don't need it now, right?
But how about that? He actually knew Abraham Lincoln and he knew George Washington.
Done.
You know, if I was physically able and had the funds to do it, I would love to go up to Mount Vernon, that's George Washington's home, and work there doing whatever they wanted me to do. Free of charge. I wouldn't want to pay. I visited Mount Vernon a couple of times, and I felt so humble. I think that's the right word. Walking through that house and up some steps, same steps that George Washington walked up, the same rooms that George Washington was in. I got to see in his bedroom. He was my favorite. He was the favorite president of mine. I had others, and a lot of you might not think so, but I like Richard Nixon. I thought it was a darn shame that he got caught up in that stuff with Watergate. I like Jimmy Carter. Now, I met Jimmy Carter. I shook Jimmy Carter's hand. I met Nixon, shook his hand. And I met Rosalind Carter, Jimmy Carter's wife, and that was in Jacksonville, Florida, and I forget what year. It must have been around 1979. And Rosalind Carter, she was a baby doll. Oh, yes, she was. And there was one other president. Who the heck was it? I didn't like him. What? Who? What? Oh, no, he wasn't president. He was vice president, Walter Mondale. Didn't like him. He run against Reagan. Boy, Reagan cleaned his clock. And I love Reagan. But I wish I could have met all of them. And in 1960, when Kennedy and Nixon was running against each other, that was the first time I voted. And I voted for Kennedy. Had I known back then the stuff that I know about John Kennedy now, so sorry he was assassinated, but I never would have voted for him if I'd known that stuff back then. And I'm a believer in something. If there's smoke, then there's got to be a little fire somewhere. That's the way I look at that. But gosh, folks, I hate to get on a rant sometime, but golly, Ned, I don't mean to be talking all the. Gee whiz, I've been talking 45 minutes. Anyhow, God bless all of you. Thank you so much for watching my videos. And I wished I could get more views. I wished I could get more views. Anyway, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Cross my heart. I'll be back. See ya. GoPro, stop recording.